What's up with it, y'all? I come at y'all with a brand new video. You know what I'm saying? I want to get on, a topic that ain't so much discussed. But to be honest, y'all, I just hope y'all just being your best selves, man, Not hiding for nobody or living for somebody because you're holding yourself back, So, I like to say, for everybody who's watching this video, man, salute to y'all, man. With high hats, because not everybody's gonna watch this, and I don't want them to watch this. I'm fine with just 10 people watching the video, y'all, because those 10 people know who they are and are choosing reality for real and not living in that fucking program that everybody else has to come to, So, just know that Halloween's days away, so I hope that y'all taking care of yourselves, man, and using your mind, not just your mind, but your gut to help you, determine what your outcome is going to be for the day. Because, yes, we think with the brain, but with a clear mind and a clear gut, you think even better. Your mind is not so foggy. You're not living in that cloud full of, like I say, problems. You live in an empty space or a realm that is of peace because you're not asking for nothing. You're not relying on other people to give you that stigma. So, just know that, for someone that's, practicing, realness, authenticness, or just trying to live, you want to live, but you want to find out what's going to give you truly what living is, yo, because there's a lot of people out here going crazy, or they're suicidal and shit, or they're just, worried about others. And that's pointless, man. Why are you going to worry about someone else? I know how it feels to be let down, or, just, trusting somebody and they, like I say, left you in the curb. But this is about what you're going to do about it, This is about what you're going to do about that. You can't stay at the curb forever, man. Right now you're at a pit stop. And instead of relying on that fucking bus to come and get your ass, man, you need to figure out how to get yourself out that position. Because nobody wants to be there forever, family. And that's the goal of this video. You don't want to be there forever. You just want to live. Because if you don't live, like I say, people are going to end up walking all over your ass. Or you're just not going to have, nothing for people to say about you when you want to be something, The point is to, like I say, use that fire that you was given, We all have fire within us if you know how to take it out from within, Life is only going to give you what you are looking for. So you got to look for it. And the spaces that are solitude, If you're around everybody else, yo, well then you're not so much worried about yourself, man, in a way to where you got to fulfill your duty to be, But yeah, y'all, the glow and everything is real. You just gotta, like I say, not only ask for the glow, but you have to be the glow. You have to be the sun. When it's cloudy or when it's raining outside, you take on the sun. Because now you're giving everybody, what the sun should be giving their asses, which is, like I say, a loving tune. It's like a harmonic song playing, but you ain't even playing. You're simply just living, acting, and being. So they're feeling that shit, man, because we are all each other's reflections, whether you want to agree or not, because nobody else is different from you. We all gotta, like I say, transcend the world one day. It's just, some are gonna do it with energy and some are gonna do it without it, So learn to hold that energy within you, man, because if you don't hold it within you, well, you're losing your power, man. Women ain't gonna want you, or you just are gonna have problems with anybody or anything, Bad luck will come your fucking way because you're worrying about things that serve you no purpose, And that's the whole point I'm trying to get at, y'all. People are gonna ask you though, what is it that you might do? Because they will look up to you, even if they don't tell you. But silently they do look up to you because It's not that they want to be you, but they want to have that power you walk with, y'all. And they want to try to use it for any which way they can. But the point I'm trying to get at, y'all, is knowing that you have already lived past those timelines and those frequencies that they're on temporarily. If they choose to elevate or stay there, well, what you need to realize is that you don't care about it no more, because your mind is constantly elevating depending on if you choose to act on things, you know, family? So if you don't act on shit, you're gonna forever be there, you know? That's what I'm trying to get at, y'all. You know, people just want your power so they can attract bullshit or try to, you know, get indoors that they're not even allowed in because they're not fully matured and elevating here. You know, you want the aura, you might want the glow, or you want the, you know, attraction, but you don't even want your mind to become right, you know? And that's why you won't have that, you know? Because everything starts with, you know, the mind. You gotta have mind power, y'all. If you don't have mind power, well, how can you, you know, choose what to act on, the right decisions? It won't work that way, family. So you must stay right here, and you must keep going, because not everybody's gonna agree with you. But you will truly love yourself even more taking that step, because people are gonna, like I say, look up to you, or they're gonna talk down on you. It doesn't really matter, but only thing I'm gonna tell you right now is just to do it because you want to do it. You know, it gets to a point, y'all, to where you elevate so much that when you do this shit or when you act on your purpose, you're not worrying about nobody. You're not looking at everybody. You're not even worrying about nothing, because you just want to become a better person and you want to impact the fucking globe, because you know that you're here limited, you know? So why not live the life you want to, you know? You might act out on kid things, or you might feel like you're a kid mentally because your seed hasn't sprouted and matured, man. It's like a tree, but you're, you know, slowly becoming the root. That tree trunk has to sprout eventually, though. You know what I'm saying, family? You know, the glow is something that I wish I could give to y'all, but it's just something that I can't, and I'm happy that I can't give it to y'all, man, because you must truly work on yourself to get something like that, you know, to attract the women or to attract this little fantasy that you want that seems to be nice and subtle. It takes work, man. It takes shadow work, and it takes consistency, man. You won't get nothing just waiting or calling or just, like they say, praying, you know. You must actually put that work in. So remember that, family. You know, the goal is to keep going even when no one believes in you, because they ain't gonna believe in you, man. You know, when you're first starting off, y'all, don't tell nobody what you're doing, because they're not gonna agree with it, or they might just stay silent because it's something in their mind that they can't comprehend. They can't comprehend that shit, though, y'all, because they don't even have the energy to expand their fucking mind frame, you know? Your brain, look at it like a computer, man. Now, when you start elevating and start practicing what I'm telling y'all, which is start loving you, stop letting go what the fuck shouldn't be going, well, you build up a hard drive, and that hard drive it acts on space or extra gigs, so you can have more space for things to download on that software. That's what you start becoming, y'all, but you're like an endless gigabyte, because once you take on what I'm telling y'all or preaching y'all, you become someone that, like I say, attracts anything, whether it's the fucking, you know, any information that you're trying to obtain, y'all, you're gonna be able to hold on to it, and you will start remembering shit that you did in the past that you might have lost, because, you know, the energy that you have is starting to build up, so you're slowly becoming someone that can handle everything, because your mind is not gonna be cloudy. It's not gonna be worried about what you gotta do temporarily. You know, you're gonna be looking and thinking long term, right? And that's why men like myself, y'all, you know, if you are looking for women, y'all, you're not trying to fuck them and then, like I say, act like it ain't happened. You're not even trying to do that right now. You're just trying to worry about someone who's gonna look at you and love you long term, because long term shows effort, and people don't even want to put effort in themselves, man. So if you want to love someone, y'all, You can't love someone if you don't love you. If you don't truly enjoy life, knowing that you don't have to live without, you don't have to live with no one. Once you get to a point where you know that all I need is myself, y'all, when you don't even gotta say you want someone, or you don't gotta talk, you will attract that one person. And it's for sure gonna happen. As long as you worry about yourself right now, you know, God will throw the things for you when it's for you to get, but you shouldn't worry about it right now. If you are struggling or you don't got yourself right, you know. So that's why I give y'all this video, man, you know. Choose to act, y'all. Like I said in my previous video, choose to act. And simply avoid talking as much as you can if it ain't gonna, you know, benefit you or upgrade your mind capacity or just help you on along your journey, because that's just wasting time. You're harvesting your own energy, y'all, but just giving things to people who don't see nothing in you, you know? So just think about that, y'all. Look, just think like, okay, I know I gotta get things done. I know I gotta work out. I know I gotta cut my hair, or I gotta put on clothes and take a shower, man, because if you do that every day, y'all, what's wrong with working out every day? What's wrong with choosing the things that you don't want to do? Because later on you will enjoy doing them, and your body will thank you later on, you know? So just remind yourself that the glow is real, and the glow is what should be inspiring you to keep going, because once you lose your glow, y'all, you lose the maturity that you once possessed in your face. You lose, like I say, extraordinary minerals or vitamins for your body, man. So you start, like I say, becoming immune to just not so like you used to everything around you. You know, if pollen is around you, or you just have people that's sick around you, you might catch that because your body hasn't, you know, it has lost everything it needed to keep your source, or like I say, the fundamentals of your being, you know, pure, man. So once you lose your energy, y'all, you start becoming sick, or you start getting sick, or you just start feeling like, damn, you're in that regret mode, you know. And I'm trying to save y'all, man, because I know how that mode feels, man. You know, if you was to lose your energy right now, knowing that it wasn't done, you know, with the right mind frame, just say you lost it from just fucking a tramp, or just, you know, losing it yourself, where you're gonna constantly live in that guilt until you probably reach 90 days again, because you're just not gonna feel right knowing that you didn't do what you came down here to do. Knowing like, damn, man, I went so far, but one little mistake and I failed, you know. And you're gonna be thinking about that, replaying in your fucking brain, man. And I'm trying to save you all the time. Don't even think about that, man. Don't even worry about that shit. Just live, you know. Just be, because that shit's gonna haunt you like a ghost, man. You know, you will never be able to stop what it is you have done, because you did it. Choosing whether or not you thought about it with a conscious act or not, because you're in control once you're aware, which means that if your body's awake and you are functioning in it, well, you chose to act out on things that I can't help you on, because everybody has that free will. But I can, you know, push out a message to where, you know, hopefully you look at this and, you know, you take something from this, man, so you don't relapse, so you don't go back. Because once you know, moving forward, y'all, you don't ever want to go back, because you're wasting time that could have been forging you to become even a sharper diamond, you know? When I'm out, y'all, people will talk to me, or they fuck with me, no matter who you are. You know who you are, but I'm just saying, you know, a lot of people come up to me and talk to me and actually fuck with me. We have genuine conversations, because I don't look at nobody like they're less than, or I don't look at no one with a dirty mind, you know? People actually like being around me because I might uplift their spirit if they feel down, or, you know, just talking about simple things, y'all, will make someone feel like they matter in a way, because they might have a fucked up life around them that you might not be aware of, you know? So that's how you really change people, y'all, because you step out glowing, and people can feel that, but they can't, you know, they can't read you or know what you do, but they can feel that, because you're a frequency, man. It's just like how music plays, and you have no say-so to whether or not you like the song or not. That's just like you. When you step out, y'all, people are going to get away, because they can't take that aura, or they can't take your spiritual pressure, man. Or they gonna get it and right with that, and they gonna try to better they pressure up, because everybody truly loves attraction. If you are someone who loves yourself, man, well, you love attraction, y'all, because what you love doing, y'all, like I said, you're attracted to that. So of course you love attraction. But to get this video, y'all, you must know that attraction starts when you get attracted to yourself, man, and the being that you came down here to be, which is whatever you love doing, you know? So just think on that subject. Just know that if I'm on the journey now, I'm winning. But if I'm not on the journey, well, I'm hindering myself, man, by all means, because your body is truly majestic, man, and it's like a being that you truly can't comprehend once you know you're truly powerful. But you don't know that, y'all, if you don't even, save onto your shit for 1 year, man. If you can't even go on this journey for 1 year, y'all, and I'm talking about the people who are practicing it now, well, you will never see what you truly hold within you, because, you're worried about external shit, Everybody can't go on this journey for 1 whole year, because they don't have the mind capacity. They don't have, like I say, that ignition. They don't even have the key to ignite their own transmission. But it's something to think about, though, because it sparks curiosity in your brain if you are truly, like I say, trying to take on this journey. Or even if you failed, man, but you get back on it, that's still a win for you, because you must learn from that mistake, y'all. You got to learn. Relive that shit in your brain so it doesn't happen again. Because I know how it feels, y'all. And it's one of the worst things you could do, man. It's worse than having $1 million fucking dollars, man. You can ask somebody right now, y'all, would you rather have $1 million, or would you rather stay on the journey for 1 whole year if you were on the journey already? Most people are going to choose staying on that journey, y'all, because, yeah, you get the money, y'all, but you lose that feeling of once you once felt, y'all. And nobody wants to go back feeling like shit. But you won't get this, though, if you don't even know what it feels like to be on those days, man. Because the days are not what make it true. The endless hard work, suffering, grit, and passion you live through those days, knowing that you did the right thing, y'all. Including the energy you have put upon you within. That's what makes you feel like, nah, I can't do that. Because you start living righteously. You truly become a king without saying it, right? And even if I was to smoke some weed, or even if I was to, like I say, do something, drink a beer, or just do something, right? I'm going to love doing that for the fact that I still have my energy within me, because I'm here living. So I'm going to enjoy, like I say, the simple human experience we was given, which is love to endorse what you do, but always have discernment, man. Do anything you want, whether you want to fuck that bitch, or whether you want to fuck your queen or your highness. But ask yourself, how are you gonna, like I say, benefit from it? How are you gonna, like I say, what do you get from that? If your girl's on the right energy like you, well then y'all reciprocating energy. So like I say, she's getting you, and you're getting her, a part of her. So there's nothing wrong with that. That's how y'all manifest things faster. That's how y'all build your bond like this. Y'all really become like Connect 4, y'all, because y'all are connected for the journey, for the long road, and like I say, for the endless things y'all choose to do. If y'all stay down, y'all both thinking right, and y'all just not worrying about pain, because pain is gonna teach you. But no one ever wants to live in that forever, though, because you're not living happily. The goal is to be you always see these fucking movies talking about how people live happily ever after, right? Well, the goal is to live happily ever after. But you can't live happily, y'all, if you ain't happy. Or, you let what people do affect you. But to get my point across the world, y'all, to know that if you have this energy within you, y'all, no matter what someone has or what someone tells you, y'all, it's not going to affect you, y'all, if you are someone like myself, because you know who you truly are. You know the power that you have. And you know that I did the right thing when no one was watching but God, but my ancestors, but my spiritual protection, because You don't need no one to believe in you. You don't need no green flag, you know? You don't need no green light. All you need is to keep staying right here and to just be, y'all. Just live. Because someone will hear your calling one day. You know? That's why I tell y'all, if you are taking on this journey or you're on a high ass day right now, y'all, I salute to you, man. I give you the shirt off my back, man. And I really, will stand with you if you were going to war with people who don't see it like you, because you're not the only one who gets, like I say, salt thrown on, or people will look down on you as well, because while you're glowing and being real, y'all, most people are hiding in that darkness, and they just want to, like I said, try to pull you down or extract what the fuck they can from you, because when they could be doing it, they choose not to. Not because they don't want to, but because they don't have that willpower in them. You truly have a will of fortune, and they have a will of guilt, man, So, the only thing I can tell y'all is to not surround yourself with likewise people that are like them, because it will hold you back. It will, you will start getting that mindset of, oh shit, I like this, because what people do, y'all, if we're magnets, y'all, you will get there as well, That's why I say, man, to have this glow is to truly love being still and to truly enjoy the little things, Just how I'm living, right? Say I'm living, right, family? Well, I try my best to take care of myself, I want to live forever, until I'm removed off of this realm. You should want to live forever too, though. But if you don't have the knowledge, or you know the knowledge, but you choose still not to act on that, well, that's your demise, or that's your reality, or that's just how you choose to live. Because some people, yeah, they want to live forever, but by everybody else dying around them, so they believe in that. So they're just waiting for their own turn, and that's perfectly fine, because that's a follower, y'all. You're following what people have did, And you don't ever want to follow no fucking body, y'all. You just want to rise and stay right here, because they ain't going to agree with you. They're going to look down on your ass, you know what I'm saying? They're going to look down on you. So, that's why I say, be somebody now. But that's why my car, she is upgraded, because she is just like me. I don't look at her like, oh, she's not living, because she gets me from A to B. So of course I'm gonna put external heavy mods in this motherfucker. Just like I take care of myself with minerals, I live good and I work out, You should be treating everything around you like how you treat yourself, man. So it can function properly and at its perfection, which is at its prime, always, because that's what it truly means to live, man. So, I just want y'all to know that, the world is yours still. The world is still yours. But it's about how you want it to be, You don't want shit, y'all, if you feel like that. Because you're not going to feel like you deserve it or you earned it, You're going to be treating people like bullshit. But if you walk around someone with an aura, or you might just start loving on them, and it's going to hurt you to why you feel that way, because you usually don't do that. So you're going to get the fuck away from them. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Because it's going to make you feel like, why am I treating you this way? I treat everybody else like hell. But because, if the other person loves themselves and they tell themselves that, well, that's all they will get back in return. And that's how powerful you become once you know what your power is, y'all. That's why I say, if you call your energy back to you and you love yourself, y'all, everything will love you. It's just, you either want to do it or you're not going to do it. And I can't help your ass if you don't want to be helped. So, just realize that if you ever feel like no one believes in you, y'all, well, no one ever believed in me. And that's because I didn't tell nobody my problems or what I was going to do. I still did. I told people what I was going to do. And a lot of people did believe in me. So I ain't mad. I'm kind of happy. But a lot of people won't believe in you because they don't believe in what they got to get done, So that's why I say, don't tell everybody your business. just stay low key about it. You know, live in the shadows, man, because all you need is your shadow self. You know, it takes time to rise, but if you can rise, y'all, you will fly above the egos like the phoenix, man. You know. So, you know, just remember this. If you are on a high streak or you are practicing this journey, man, and you're thinking about fucking yourself up or returning back to the start, you know why you're gonna do it, man. Don't just lose your energy, man. Especially if you're not, like I say, creating a kid with a woman. Because just say you expel that substance from your body. Well, now the women don't see you like they used to because you lost what the fuck is truly gonna heal them when you give it to them. You know, you lost your, if you want to say, your royalty or just your humbleness, because now you're gonna start being affected by external things. Let's just say someone is going on or going back with someone. You might get irritated by that because you're on a lower dimension now. But if you're still with a high frequency, you're not gonna give a fuck about what anyone's doing around you because you feel too damn good inside of you, you know? That's why I say, don't just give your energy to anybody if they don't see you like you see you, man. All you can do is preach the message, but you can't never force a horse to drink once you teach them where the water is or show them where the water is, you know? So just stay right here, y'all. Stay right here. And don't fuck with no one, you know? Live for yourself. And it's gonna pay off, y'all, you know? I don't like being on the camera as much with the glow because I feel like it's kind of fucked up, you know? That not everybody has a glow, you know? A simple glow, man. But God only gives the glow to the ones who want the glow, who wants to better them, who wants to, you know, involve and perfectionist, man. You become perfection once you start doing things that are going to perfect you, you know? So, just know that you're where you want to be. You're where you got to be. And as long as you stay right here, don't worry about nothing, you know? And please, I tell y'all this, don't lose your energy, man. If it ain't gonna benefit you, man. If it ain't gonna help you in no shape, form, matter, or way. Because once you lose that, y'all, you lose respect, man. You know, you're disrespecting yourself simply by giving that energy up. So, at least give it to a woman, man, that deserves it. That wants you, that sees only you. You know, to create a little y'all. Don't give it to someone that doesn't see your worth. Or don't give it to anything that's outside of yourself, which is, like I say, the sheets, the socks, man. No, because you're hindering your power, man. You know, you won't be Eisen no more. You will be someone with no fucking spiritual pressure, man. And the goal is not to necessarily put fear in their asses, but you want to put that fear in their asses, man, because you want them to feel something that they don't feel often. So you can live in their brains rent-free. So it can either spark you to change or to stay haunted by that individual, man, because it's not that you're jealous him, but you know, you feel like you're in survival mode around that person because of how they make you feel, man. You know, no matter if you're on the journey or not, you make every woman feel safe because every woman truly wants a masculine man, y'all. No, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Every woman wants a masculine man because if you can't protect yourself, man, what makes you think she's gonna want you if you can't even protect you, you know? Because in her mind, it's all about survival. It's a survival tactic. So if she plays games with you, of course she's gonna play with you because she wants to make sure if she makes this decision that she can count on you protecting her. Or if she goes down, y'all, you can handle those problems. Because like I said, if women are emotional creatures, y'all, they go off what you give them, that's that feeling. But you react off of logic, you know, you use your brain in a way, you know, you don't go off of how someone makes you feel because as a man, y'all, your power is in, like I say, evolving and transforming, man, and never staying still, man, because like this or not, this is the true fact. If you ever get too comfortable in a relationship, y'all, well, you will lose the woman. You will lose yourself because, like I say, if you lose yourself, y'all, well, then the woman will not want your ass no more. Because You know, what wanted you was knowing that you wanted you, man. And that's why they fell in love with you. Or that's why they will be in love with you. But it's also the same way for a woman. If you work on yourself, if you truly work on yourself, love you, work out, not saying you have to, but this is if you want to, you will get all these men, whether they're high status, whether they're perfectionists, or whether they're just thirsty as fuck, because you become a magnet in tune. So you're gonna pull them to you like, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be like this, whether they want to or not, because high vibrations, man, are gonna polarity. It's like a polarity, y'all, polarity effect. So you're gonna pull bad and good things to you. You just gotta use your discernment that you are giving when it happens, man, because you will have discernment, especially if you have discipline, especially if you never stop and you believe in yourself, man, because not everybody in this world believes in themselves. And that's why everybody ain't YouTubers. That's why everybody ain't taking action. Or that's why everybody just scared. You know, it's, you know, what really is scared? You know, it's a feeling that you was taught, man, to emit a simple, you know, emotion out of your body. But you must really love yourself to a point where fear only exists, y'all, if you give it power, or if you consume flesh, y'all, and simply don't do shadow work, man. Because if energy is truly powerful, y'all, what is dead, you will get from it, which is fear. Because energy can simply transform, or transfer, depending on what it is, because everything was living once. That's why I say, man, when you lose your body, y'all, the energy you once had is going to be transferred into that spiritual body that you also have, that you will live with fully when you leave this bitch, you know? So that's why I say, man, protect your energy, man, because it starts now, y'all. It starts now. But other than that, y'all, all what I say, celebrate your season, Scorpion, you know, get out that sand that they had you in, you know, and speak your fucking brain, at least for this season, y'all, because it's your time to stand the fuck up, man, and be something, you know. But I'll see you on the next video, man. Salute to all the men and the women, kings and queens.